Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Corner, episode 27. What the hell is Retribution? We'll obviously come on to that later on in the show and we get to SmackDown and Raw. But, as always, on this lovely Tuesday morning, I am joined by Simon. How are you today?
Doing all right, yeah. Haven't watched. Just realised I forgot to watch AEW Women's Show.
I haven't watched the match, but I saw what the brackets are.
I don't even know who's on it, so I guess that'll be an all right surprise.
Yeah, we'll talk about the end of AEW, but it's been a strange week for wrestling. Nothing major, but some strange little things. Obviously, we've had Retribution, we've had a big takeover match announced, and at the end of the main event this week, it's a Cody Rhodes quiz. I thought he's been doing a lot of title defenses, and he's been the pivotal part of AEW so far, and he's one of my top 3 favorite wrestlers. I thought I'm going to test Sam's knowledge partially on him, and I've got recent questions as well. So you're not going to be out of the loop, should I say. I'll just have a quick drink and then we'll move on to AEW. Show open up with a 12-man tag team match. The Elite and FTR versus the Dark Order. I mean, so you have Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and then you have Cash Wheeler and Dax Howard versus Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, 5 and 9.
I thought the second half of this match,
it was a very entertaining match. If you're a fan of proper tag team wrestling, like methodical, like using tag team, this match probably not for you.
It's just fun, innit? It's just a big multi-man.
Yeah, and I think everyone in the match came off quite strong.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really pay much attention, because you knew what it was going into it. It was just a nice, fun opener. Although I'm not sure I expected Dark Order to get the win. I mean, it's good, but
yeah, I think it brings something a bit different to this feud. I think we've seen Page and Omega pick up wins quite a lot, and then for Brody Lee to just what's it called? Pin Hangman Page, who is the tag team champion. It's sort of like, I'm guessing it'll be, if the title opportunity comes, it's Brody and Colt. I'm guessing that tag team pairing.
Yeah, but then why would that leave Grayson and Uno?
That's the thing. I didn't realise how much Evil Uno had lost weight before when he returned.
He got a bit slimmer, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was watching and I was like, oh, okay, that's Evil Uno. And then I went back and watched an episode probably like 3 months ago when he ran. I was like, oh, wow, he's properly slimmed down here.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Yeah.
I guess it makes him more athletic. I mean, he's still got presence and he's still a relatively big guy.
Figure, yeah.
It's like the right kind of slimming down, if that makes sense.
It's like a KO kind of slim, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great. I think the result fits into the entire storyline. How Brody was sort of trying to recruit Hangman Page a little bit, then with Brody pinning him, it's sort of, all works together. We saw footage from earlier on there with the best friends arriving in Trent's mom's van, which is great.
It was all right. I'm not that enthusiastic about Dynamite. I don't quite know why.
There's something about where
up until no fans, I think it's just wrestling in general at the moment. I'm not
fully into.
I think the difference is Dynamite are just everything's really solid, but ultimately not much of consequence. Whereas WWE are going well and truly just every single week outside the box.
Yeah,
you know.
I think
whereas compared to AEW, it just makes AEW look really just standard, which is fine because that's what they pride themselves on, is just a solid show, and that's great. But,
I think AEW have put consistent, decent shows on, but they haven't had that wacky thing on the show where people are going, "Oh my god, what was that?" Whereas WWE, apart from NXT, as I said, NXT put on decent shows.
Not everything WWE does is good, and let's face it, most of it isn't.
Oh no,
a lot of it's unwatchable, but it sure gets people talking. So yeah.
But we did get a tag team match, which was Santana Ortiz versus the Best Friends. Again, it was a decent tag team match, like it was, but because we practically see great tag team matches every day, every week on Dynamite, it didn't feel really different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just. I think that's just the story at the moment. There's so much wrestling. There's the same amount of wrestling that there was before everything happened, but everything, because there is no AEW's fans give the show a much different feel. Oh, sorry, I think that's just the story at the moment. AEW's fans gives the shows such a different feel to WWE's, but when they're not there, it just makes every production feel similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fans do really care.
I mean, it's different on main roster, but I feel like I could watch a tag match on AEW and a tag match on 205 Live, and they'd feel just the same.
Yeah, a crowd definitely boosts AEW a lot more than it does WWE.
Whereas AEW would be buzzing for AEW fans would be buzzing for a tag match, but 205 Live fans would just sit on their hands
and wait for the dance match. Yeah, it's a tough thing, but yeah, AEW have been consistent. Same with NXT, and I suppose that's all they can do. Then we've got MJF, who appeared live from the MJF campaign headquarters. He basically gave it behind the scenes tour, showed his hard-working campaign staff, and mailing out campaign buttons and posters. The campaign is not over until John Moxley AEW world titles around my waist are all out. I sort of like this MJF, sort of the political MJF, this dirty.
I really like this.
Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't even need this gimmick, but it just boosts him a little bit more.
I like the fact he's not picking a feud with not. Like, it doesn't matter who. It wouldn't matter who has the title. He just wants the title. But of course, he wants Darby Allin to win it because Darby Allin's smaller.
Yeah.
It would just. I like the fact that he's solely driven by the title and not getting his hands on Moxley and the title's also on the line. It just makes it feel more important.
Mm-hmm. And but and the gimmick, his original gimmick, can easily slot into this politician gimmick and not feel any different. I think when a lot of heels try to change a heel gimmick, Moxley's one of them. Moxley could have just been this badass heel, basically, would come in and just tear shit up. Instead, he had to use a gas mask and stuff. Ambrose. Whereas I think MJF can do this and it feels very natural. After this, we had Matt Hardy come out with the microphone. I'm not going to, but he just cut a promo saying I can introduce AEW to the multiverse of Matt Hardy. And I've tried to help people out, Private Party, if they need anything, I have their back. There's another man I tried to help out, Sammy Guevara, told me I need to leave Chris Jericho and stuff. And basically, Matt Hardy said, I desire to no longer desire to help you, I desire to hurt you. Sammy slid out from beneath the ring, stuck behind Matt. Then they both just started brawling. A lot of stuff, twist of face, but Sammy sort of threw Matt into the steel ring post. And then there was a table set up. Hardy stood over it. Guevara throws a chair, hits Matt's face. Matt's head's properly busted open. And then Hardy's lays on the table. Sammy runs up the entrance ramp, cannonball with a front flip onto Matt through the table. Absolutely horrible spot.
Yeah, a bit rough on it.
It made me entertained for the consequent match that will happen between them two. Probably all out.
I think that's where we're leading the match at all out. But this was, I would say it was an accident, but it was a hell of an accident to sort of to happen. It was a deep wound. Apart from that, the segment were really good.
Yeah.
It just that kind of overshadowed it ever so slightly.
And then after the match, JR received word on the headset. A camera goes backstage and it's Ortiz and Santana demolishing Sue's minivan. Poor Sue, I suppose. That's all you can say. So I'm just scrolling. There we go. After this, we had John Silver and
Matt
Alex
Cardona.
Reynolds. Yeah, he's made his debut. So we had 2 members of the Dark Order, sort of the third string tag team of it. Versus Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, making his AEW debut, and the TNT champion Cody. Matt Cardona looks great.
It was underwhelming, wasn't it?
Yeah, nothing much. What's his finisher called? Radio Silence.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I was more impressed by Silver and Reynolds.
Yeah.
And I know that
they've been quite impressive.
Yeah, and then the match was the match, like it happened. Cody and Cardona got the win, but then it was Scorpio Sky came out afterwards and basically challenged Cody for next week. So yeah, Matt Cardona was the third most important segment in a match that was based around himself.
Yeah, I'm glad he hasn't signed a full-time contract with them. I think it's 5 match.
They can't keep signing people.
No, they can't.
I mean, I don't want everyone to go to Impact. I'd be all right with everyone going to Impact, but I don't know. No one's gone to New Japan really, have they?
Good Brothers technically.
Yeah, don't some people think Rowan might go there?
Yeah, I've heard rumours that he's been in Japan before. Not rumours. People have said he's been in Japan before. But yeah, you know what? I'd like to see him maybe just a big foreign monster heel, sort of what Lance Archer was.
Yeah, the only difference is I feel like Rowan is absolutely just the only thing he knows is WWE style, sports entertainment style.
Yeah,
he's hardly known as the workhorse, is he? Which is what it's all about over there. But
he might have a chance to prove himself.
I'd like to see it, even if it did happen. I still probably wouldn't watch.
Nah, same. New Japan's very hard to access in England.
I'm not going to pay for New Japan World when there's so much on already. So.
Yeah, to buy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scorpio Sky versus Cody for next week. Some nice little promos that Scorpio Sky did on Twitter, and I think AEW put one up. But yeah, I don't. For me, Scorpio Sky is the one person I think might actually take the belt.
No.
Not before. I don't think he will, but for me, he's one of the most viable threats. Just because he's one of the only guys who's actually who was signed to AEW for a while.
Yeah, it feels more important than guys like Warhorse.
Yeah, Warhorse, Eddie Kingston, Ricky Starks, just because they weren't signed, so you didn't think they had.
It was more of a showcase match for them, for those guys. But we've already seen Scorpio Sky now for a year, so.
Yeah. So he doesn't feel out of the loop, so to speak. Then we had the AEW Super Wet debate. So it was basically announced there was going to be a special moderator. Oh, who's it going to be? Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine, and you know what? He did a decent job.
Bischoff back on TNT. I really like Bischoff in this role.
Yeah, he did. He didn't feel like he overbeared the segment.
Look, right. The thing, this might be a little bit off topic, but the thing that really sort of bugs me is the fact that everyone on Twitter accuses AEW of just doing what WCW did by bringing in ex-WWE guys or WCW guys or whatever. But the difference is, or what they did in TNA. If it was TNA, they'd have had Bischoff as the top guy in charge, and he'd have dominated everything. This is just a one-off, nice cameo appearance. That's the thing. Arn Anderson doesn't take away from anyone. He's there to manage and influence Cody. Jake Roberts, he doesn't take the spotlight from anyone. He's just there to manage. The same with Vicky Guerrero. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what people can't understand. It's good to have big names to come in and enhance your company, but you don't just send them straight to the top.
Yeah. The big problem is, I think, when people say Bischoff is that this company is going to be the main guy, it's like, no, it's a one-off appearance. But obviously, I do because for one night only, because in case they want to bring him back in a month, 3 months.
Yeah.
for another segment.
That's fine, but so long as Jericho and Orange Cassidy are the main guys in the segment,
which they were
perfect. But I mean, maybe it's just on my mind a little bit because yesterday I watched the rise and fall of WCW. So obviously, it was on my mind. It was on my mind quite a bit about how AEW are doing it differently.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people online don't seem to get that.
So we'll go into
what do you have you watched Being the Elite this week? Because I've actually started watching.
For once, no.
Because they're just like ratings talk and stuff, and a lot of people are saying that constant talk about the ratings is what's going to kill AEW. But it's like it's all right for I don't get why it's all right for the fans to constantly talk about ratings and like compare it against the NXT. But as soon as like anyone on AEW makes reference to it,
no, I think it's
terrible.
Competition.
As long as it's not like the main. As long as they're not there coming out and going, yeah, take that NXT, we beat you last week.
Also, you got Jericho calling himself the demo god, but that fits into Jericho's character of being this.
Although I have gone off Jericho a little bit in the past week, considering he did that Fozzy concert.
Did he do the concert? I saw that. I like a bunch of people getting angry. I didn't know he actually did. Chris.
Yeah, he said that they took the appropriate measures and everything. Apparently they didn't, and also there's pictures of people like just not distancing. So yeah, come on, Chris.
You can do better than that.
Yeah, right. Where were we on Dynamite? Oh, we were still on this.
Jericho Cassidy. So Bischoff asks. Jericho starts something and Bischoff asks Cassidy response, doesn't say anything. So Bischoff says they've got 5 questions, all random selected from all of AEW's social media. Fair enough. And the first one is about rising sea levels. So Chris Jericho goes, what stupid question? That's why would you ask that? It's got nothing to do with the wrestling. And so Eric Bischoff just goes to Cassidy. Cassidy gives an incredible answer.
I did laugh.
It just worked so well. This silent man, then also they just talk about the rising sea levels. I really liked it.
Yeah, it got a thumbs up from me, and then Cassidy won the debate.
Yeah,
and then Jake Hager and Jericho, I think, just beat down Orange Cassidy, and that was that.
Yeah. And the best friends ran down after. I think I quite like it because Cassidy's building himself more as an underdog, but it was before the attack happened, or before the announced Bischoff went, "You've won the debate." It was when Cassidy went, "Where is it? I want you to look into the eyes of the man that's going to embarrass you, and next week look at the man that's going to beat you." It's something we don't see a lot from Cassidy's is promos, but when he talks, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, he can. I think he can talk, just chooses not to. Sorry, I had a wasp in this room earlier, and I thought I killed it. I feel like I've just heard it buzz behind me.
So Sam's got PTSD of a wasp.
I'm on watch. If you just hear me like panic, I'll mute my mic and you know what's happening.
Great. So if I'm talking about NXT and I hear meow, Simon is going to be murdered by a wasp.
I walked straight downstairs.
Well, you'll look that. Anyway, Tony Schiavone interviewed Dr. Britt Baker, basically saying Big Swole would have to go through someone of British choosing. I know you died to know who I picked my trust fund Big Swole is. Reba. Reba went protested against Britt Baker. So it's Big Swole versus Reba. Reba got absolutely decimated. Not decimated, but she missed a moonsault. Big Swole rolled out of the way. Hit with Dirty Dancing. Finish. Britt Baker just throwing Reba into the wolves for the wolves.
Why do AEW have a dedicated show every Monday for women's wrestling and choose to stick on a 4-minute comedy match on their main program?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing
from
the show, where there was 4 minutes of women's wrestling. You're not even your champ as well.
It's such an easy fix.
Yeah, and
then obviously Brandy Rhodes has come off Twitter. I mean,
apparently
that was giving good racist abuse, but it's probably also to do with people absolutely hounding her out about the women's stuff.
And I know the women's division are getting their own show, but they still need to be on your main because not everyone's watching the tag team tournament. So yeah, very poor from AEW this week. But you did have the main event, which was Mox versus Darby Allin. Mox picks up the win in a great back and forth match. Darby's so good, isn't he? He's just class.
Yeah, I don't know. I never bought into. I really think it doesn't help that I choose to watch Dynamite like in the evening.
Yeah.
Because before this BT Sport deal, NXT used to be shown on Fridays on the network over here, so we got it a day late.
Yeah.
So I just watched AEW on Thursdays and NXT on the Friday. Whereas now, NXT is available on Thursdays, but it's the Thursday after, so they're both out on the same day. Do you know what I mean?
Which just doesn't make sense. That's why I get. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I have to watch last week's NXT before Dynamite because like chronological order and stuff.
Yeah.
But by that point, I already know what's happened on Dynamite. So the BT Sport deal that's really ruined it for me.
True. Luckily, I got BT Sport because on the channel we're doing watch-alongs. Help them out late. I won't do it now. But on the channel we're doing watch-alongs, so I've got to have BT. So I'm lucky that I've been like I watched quite a bit of SmackDown last night. I watched nearly all of NXT. But it does proper mess you sleep. It's the worst thing about being a British English WWE fan is your sleep schedule can get fucked up if you're trying to watch all the shows.
Yeah, I know they are morally wrong, but it's why I really enjoy the Saudi Arabia shows.
Oh, they're great.
It start at 5, and it's like, it's fantastic.
Same with the Australia show.
They're absolutely mental.
When they were down in Australia, that was a great time as well. That was like morning.
That were like, I think 10, 11 in the morning. And so they just finished the show and then went off to watch football at 3. It were great.
It was perfect. It was the perfect day. But then you've got like your big WWE pay-per-views that start at 1 a.m. or 12 at midnight. And if they're a 4-hour show, it's finishing at 5 or 4. So I remember when I watched the Rumble, on a thingy, I went over to Kieran's at midnight, and it was nearly a 4-hour show. So I was leaving his room at 4, walking back to mine. I was like, it's nearly morning.
Yeah, I get much more enjoyment out of watching it the day after.
The thing is, I love watching it live because nothing beats that reaction.
Nothing does beat it. I will give that because you feel like well and truly like it's the magic of live TV, innit?
Like if you can avoid spoilers, which is very hard to do, it's fine because you've still got that. Oh my god! But if you can't, it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Moxley
winning a great back and forth match.
Moxley won.
Not really much.
It happened. MJF tried to hit a belt shot on Mox, but it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't pay off.
Are MJF and Wardlow still doing a breakup storyline?
I know they were teasing it, but I think they might have dropped it.
Right, okay.
I think.
That's the thing with AEW. You never know whether they've dropped it or whether it's just long term.
Yeah, I think
WWE is like they do something every single week to make it obvious.
Sure, Yeah.
So I don't really know.
No, I think they've dropped it. I think.
Right. Okay.
I'm not fully confident. Before we go into NXT, though, AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament Night 3. We had
Night 3?
What?
Night 3?
Yeah, it was like the third. I swear that's what they were calling it on the YouTube.
Night 2?
Night 2. Is it Night 2?
Yeah.
Jesus, I thought it was Night 3. Anyway, on one side we had Big Swole and Lil Swole. So obviously Big Swole and then Nicole Savoy, otherwise known as Lil Swole.
Don't announce results.
And then who were them two again? Who were them two against? They were against, I can tell you. Oh, was it Leva Bates? No, it was Dasher. No, it wasn't. Where is it? I've lost the match. How quick was the match? Is this it? There we go. It was against Leva Bates and I don't know her name, unfortunately. I do apologize.
It's a good sign.
Yeah. What's her name? Hold up. We'll try and find it. Oh, Ray Chanel. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was Big Swole and Lil Swole versus Ray Chanel and Leva Bates. And then we had Everlease and Diamante versus, what's it called? Rachel Ellering and Dasha Fuentes, who is obviously the backstage commentator, Dasha Fuentes. You know what I'm on about?
Yeah. Dasha. I don't know. She's got a last name, but I can't remember it. But yeah, she said in an interview before she can wrestle. She just doesn't. I mean, I don't know how good she is or anything, but
she wasn't the best, but wasn't amazing. It was just a mediocre performance.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of harms the women's division as well when they're bringing in people like Cameron, a ring announcer.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It doesn't. Oh, there's so much work to do.
There is, but we'll move on to NXT now. I don't know whether you want to go mute to
I will mute the TV and put a message in chat.
Yeah. Goodbye, Simon. But hello, NXT. A very good episode of NXT this week. Just open up with Dakota Kai versus Rhea Ripley to become the #1 contenders championship. Dakota Kai picks up the win, which is great. We saw Mercedes Martinez, who provides the distraction. She hits a drive-by when the referee was checking on Dakota Kai. Kai took advantage, hitting the go-to kick, win that match NXT for 30. It keeps Rhea Ripley strong. She'll probably have the match with Mercedes Martinez at TakeOver, and it keeps us like it means she doesn't have to leave NXT, but she doesn't have to be involved in a title feud. You also had Legado del Fantasma. They kidnapped Fandango from their house where Breeze was and stuff, and then Breeze comes out and Legado del Fantasma basically decimate Fandango and Breeze eventually as well. And then we had Brunson Reed defeating Shane Thorne. Pretty giveaway match. Brunson Reed, obviously, he's got that match at TakeOver. What's it called? Why not? You give him a little bit of a boost of a match. Then we had Damien Priest defeating Oni Larkin. Actually, I'll read the comment. I say Shayna Baszler will win the Battle Royal, so she will face Bayley at SummerSlam. And WWE will let Shayna win because if not, that would just show Shayna as weak again for sure. I mean, we'll talk about it when it comes to SmackDown, but I could definitely agree, Bembo. Definitely agree. Maybe not with Shayna, just because I don't know. She's had the Raw Underground stuff, but yeah. But Damien Priest pinned Oni Larkin and Ridge Holland. I was so adamant that Ridge Holland was going to win. He was he's an Englishman. He didn't pick up the win. Damien Priest picks it up. But Holland had a really impressive sort of debut match in NXT, and only Larkin as well, Sean. But yeah, Priest picks up the win with Ridge Holland making his debut, having a good showing. I'm just trying to think. We had, and then the NXT champion, Keith Lee, defeating Cameron Grimes in a non-title match, picks up the win quite convincingly, but Killer Cross after the match. Basically decimate people backstage, and then Brandon Lee gives them an NXT title opportunity. Great thing. It's going to be a very tough if this happens at TakeOver 30, just because, well, Keith Lee's only just won the belt. So, interesting. Then we had William Regal come on the commentary. Come on the show, and basically say Dexter Lumis is injured. He won't be able to compete in the ladder match. So, we're hosting a losers match because the explanation was Gargano and Balor have complained so much that they did not get pinned in their matches that I'm hosting a last-ditch match for the people who didn't get pinned. So Gargano, Cole, and Rich Holland are all going to be putting that match, and I won't be surprised if Holland wins. You know, I know I backed him earlier, but there's a chance for him this time. With Gargano and Balor getting in the way of each other, I could just see him sneaking a win. Probably not. I think he'll take the pin. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, look forward to that match. Another triple threat. Tegan Nox defeated Indy Hartwell. Quite a simple win. Now, the main event of the show. Pat McAfee comes out and he's actually on commentary with Tom Phillips. And Mauro and Beth. And then Imperium and the Undisputed Care out for the tag team match. Basically, what's it called? In the match is going on, but in the commentary, you've just got Pat McAfee just berating Adam Cole now. I know a lot of people are not fans of it. I'm a big fan of Pat McAfee. I like him when he was doing the pre-show, when he's doing the watch-alongs. I've started watching his NFL stuff as well, and he's a very charismatic man. And this Adam Cole feud's been going on for a while, so it all makes sense. But yeah, Pat McAfee's basically just barraging Cole, like not hiddenly, but sly digs. Eventually, Cole has enough, and he goes up and gets in the face of Pat McAfee. This also distracting the other members of Undisputed Era. That allows Imperium to pick up the win, hitting the European Bomb route. And they waste no time. They leave straight away, and then it all comes down to basically this match really wasn't about the belts. It was about Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole. And so Pat McAfee's in the commentary. Adam Cole just comes over to him, and he's just going like, just screaming at him. You call me short. And Pat McAfee stands up and he starts to walk away. Everyone's come out now to split him up. Pat McAfee manages to get a mic and he just goes on the mic. Do you know when you've had enough of someone and they've got that one flaw that you know you can just talk a lot about? And if Pat McAfee with Adam Cole's height, he just calls him every name that you could call someone small under the sun. Has enough, and then punch. I think Cole is then goes to attack him more. He's laid down on the announce desk. Pat McAfee looks back, just runs and punts him in the head. Obviously, if you don't know, Pat McAfee is a former NFL All-Pro punter. Punter for the Indianapolis Colts. He had a very decent career. I don't think he ever won the Super Bowl. I think he may have lost. But yeah, people know him. He's very loved in Pittsburgh and in Indianapolis. But yeah, hits him with the punt, leaving Adam Cole out cold. Then we had Triple H announcing that it would be Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver. Now, I think this has come under a lot of fire. I'm going to message Simon because Simon's obviously seen the match announcement. Let me just message Simon. We'll get it done. But yeah, it's interesting because I'll see what Simon thinks about it when he gets back. But it's one of them things. People, I know he's seen the announcement. Yeah, we'll just wait and see. He might not even be here. I'll have a quick drink while he's gone. It's absolutely roasting in England, and when I mean roasting, I mean
I forgot to unmute my mic. Sorry, what were you on about?
I was on about. So you know that the Pat McAfee Adam Cole match was being announced, didn't you?
I do.
What are your opinions on it? Obviously, you haven't seen the segment in NXT, but
underwhelming.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I needed someone to talk to about it. I like it for this reason. This feud has been going on for a while. Pat McAfee and Adam Cole have been going at it, not like massively, but little jabs to each other. Like Adam Cole saying, "Oh, you were only a punter." It's like saying, "Oh, you're only a fullback." You know, like when you diss someone for a position to play in football. That's what Adam Cole did. Pat McAfee's always dissing Adam Cole about his height, even though I don't think there's actually much difference. Well, there is difference between them. And when the first match got announced, I was like, I'm invested because it's a feud that's going on for a while, but I'm worried what the match is going to be because I didn't think Pat. I know he had a ring in his studio, but I didn't know if he could do anything simple. And then I saw the video he put up of him leaping up to that third rope, hitting standing moonsaults and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I knew he was athletic, but I thought we could get a 3-star match here. Maybe not 3-star. But a mediocre match from a guy who is not a wrestler. He was an NFL punter.
Yeah, not on a takeover. Not for me.
I think it needs it. Genuinely, I think NXT it needs a blend of a match that isn't as serious because you've got what's going to be Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross. You've got this going to be what is a painful ladder match. I think it'll be a bit of at the start, it'll be a bit of comic relief of Adam Cole taking the piss out of Pat McAfee for trying to wrestle, then Pat pulling out some moves, and then
so Adam Cole wins. It all depends. It shouldn't be a wrestling match.
Shouldn't it?
You can't have Pat McAfee go toe with Adam Cole.
No. And I know that's where people are going to have a problem because it's Adam Cole, one of the best wrestlers ever.
Adam Cole should destroy him. It's wrestler versus non-wrestler. That's the thing.
Yeah, true.
Like it's like how can Shane McMahon go toe to toe with the Undertaker?
Yeah. Yeah. I know why people don't like it. I can understand that. I'm a fan of it though. I'm a big fan. I think that's because I like Pat McAfee is very charismatic. If you watch, if you're not an NFL fan, I don't think you will. But if you watch a couple of his NFL shows or he's talk about wrestling, he's very entertaining to watch. I know people probably can find him annoying, but not me personally. I quite like him. But that was NXT. It was a very good episode of the show. We'll find out what Simon thought next week. But yeah, I've got to do a minor spoiler. No spoiler. Rich Holland, my boy, my guy.
I know he didn't win. I know Damo Priest won.
Yeah, but there is a match. He's still got a chance, but yes, love Rich Holland. Now, you're going to have to carry me through SmackDown because I haven't had a chance to watch it. I watched
Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. Have you not watched any of it?
I've watched Mandy Rose debuting a new look, the Big E promo, and that is it.
Oh, okay, right.
I haven't had a chance. For some reason, and I also watched the ending as well.
Yeah. Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. They do wrestling for quite a little bit. Shorty G. Yeah, it went for a little bit. Shorty G comes out and attack Riddle because obviously King's ransom and all that. Yeah. Sheamus watched us. Riddle sort of came back, beat down G. He's still Shorty G, and he's not Chad Gable. I'll have a look at that in a second.
I think he's still Shorty G.
Sheamus was angry when he found out that he'd lost by disqualification and made Shorty G pay with a bro kick. Yeah, all right.
Face now.
Corbin versus Riddle at SummerSlam, let's face it.
Yeah, and Sheamus is face now for some reason, considering he's just been in a...
Sheamus is not a face.
He bro kicked Chad Gable, who's the heel.
Not a chance. After Sheamus taking the piss out of Jeff Hardy for being an alcoholic for 2 months.
That was my reaction. But he bro kicked Chad Gable.
It wasn't a heel versus face match. They both worked heel.
Okay, all right.
I can so confidently tell you now it was not a face turn.
Mm-hmm.
Miz TV. So apparently they interviewed a broom, but they left this bit out of the YouTube segment, so I've not seen it.
They interviewed a broom? Of course they did.
Alright, okay. So, alright, I'll do it. Miz and Morrison were back for another episode of Miz TV. A few technical glitches and that, so Retribution. They interviewed the wig with googly eyes while pretending it was the hair of Deville, cut off of Mandy Rose's head last week. It was every bit as cringe-inducing as you would expect. Deville came out, went on a rant about Mandy Rose. She said Mandy Rose has lost all her respect and she took pleasure in destroying her last week. Heavy Machinery came down and beat up Miz and Morrison. And then we went to break. Who thinks interviewing a wig is a good idea?
Vince. Haha, look at him. They're speaking to a broom. Yeah.
Cesaro versus Lindsay Dorado. They did some wrestling and then Cesaro won with a neutralizer. It was fine. It was a good enough match. It's just two good wrestlers having a SmackDown match. Cesaro and Nakamura keep on rolling, but I don't know. Lindsay Dorado don't really seem to win much. But then again, I really like Lindsay Dorado. So.
Big Lindsay.
Yeah, you can tell this was a great SmackDown.
What
does the Fiend want from Alexa Bliss?
What does the Fiend want, Simon?
So we came back from right. How did Alexa? What was this? Was this a recap of last week? Did Alexa Bliss just? Have you seen this? No.
No, I can have a look though. Unless it's
recap. Right, it's really weird. I think it was either meant to be a recap from last week or it was like a look inside the Fiend's mind, but somehow we came back from commercial and Alexa Bliss was just sat there in the ring with the Fiend.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? It was like, is this a continuation of what happened last week? Anyway.
I'm just watching it now.
Yeah. There was no entrance. They were just there. Strowman came out, what?
Yeah, sorry, no, yeah, because Alexa stops him from mandible clawing her.
Yeah. I don't know. Strowman came on the Tron like he was looking through a microwave. And it was just... He said, like, he's made him a bad man. He doesn't care about Alexa Bliss. That's nice. Good
well
baby
done,
face
bro.
move.
What a nice man.
He just wants to destroy Wyatt. He's pushed to his breaking point and can't contain his evil anymore.
What a goal.
Yeah, it was all right. We got 2 weeks till SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, right.
I'm not invested. I'm
You're
not invested in Braun. Sorry. I loved the Fiend. The Fiend.
I don't think anyone is.
The Fiend Alexa segment last week. I thought that was incredible. But then, yeah.
Yeah, no one's really bothered.
It's Braun.
Jeff Hardy versus King Corbin.
Yes, the match that we
They had a match. Did some wrestling. Corbin got an A-fall with a deep six. Sheamus runs down and bro kicks Jeff Hardy. So he's not a babyface.
My bad. I think when I was watching it live, people were saying, well, is he a babyface now because he's bro kicked Chad?
This causes a DQ. And then we've got Sheamus versus King Corbin. Then Matt Riddle showed up, caused a distraction. Sheamus hit the bro kick for the win. Sheamus even applauded, and Riddle applauded Sheamus after it was done.
So is it a repeat of...
Who cares?
Yeah. But so is it a repeat of last week's segment? Not last week, the previous... Yeah.
I've got no idea what happened last week.
No, I meant this week in terms of compared to what opened the show, nearly.
Yeah, I think so.
Who cares?
Who cares? Miz versus Miz and Morrison versus Heavy Machinery.
Yeah.
Right, the thing that struck me in this match is, kayfabe, has Otis still? Is he still Mr. Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
Because he never has the briefcase, and it's never referred to.
Imagine if he just dropped his briefcase.
There's no way they've dropped him holding the briefcase. That can't happen.
I want it to be a thing of Otis has just lost it, and then he eventually finds it in like 3 months under his bed or something.
No, I think I'm so glad you don't book Otis, because some of the things you come up with.
Well, yeah, but I don't like Otis, so why?
I know.
He's just a buffoon. Oh, we did miss an announcement actually because Bembo were talking about it. Bailey and Sasha came out as the heel stuff, and Stephanie McMahon came up saying there'll be an inter-brand battle royale to decide Bailey's opponent at SummerSlam. Because Bembo said, I would say Shayna Baszler will win the battle royale, so she will face Bailey at SummerSlam, and hopefully WWE will let Shayna win, because if not, sure, Shayna is weak again. Then he said, well, one from Raw or NXT is going to win. If it's from SmackDown, Raw NXT during a pandemic where you need less sleep as possible.
So he says Shayna will win the battle royal and then face Bailey at SummerSlam.
So what's the point? It's going to be Raw or NXT, because what's the point of making it into brand?
Yeah, I think it's Shayna who wins. One from Raw or NXT is going to win, because if someone from SmackDown wins, what's the point? Yeah, I don't really know who from NXT would win. Maybe Rhea Ripley.
I was thinking Rhea, but the one problem was I'll talk about in NXT. She's going to have a feud with someone else in NXT to stop her from like running NXT and being a champion against Dale. I feel like I don't want and maybe she can be called up and run SmackDown, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, I forgot about the announcement. That's next this Friday.
Back to the original Mr. Morrison machines. Yeah, they had a tag match. There's no point calling the action. After we came back from commercial break, everyone was arguing backstage when the lights started flickering.
Yeah.
After the match, I can't remember who won. It doesn't matter. We went back to the announcers, and then obviously Retribution landed and started causing bloody mayhem.
Oh, these bloody Retribution, the madmen and women
running and went into the crowd and attacked any wrestlers they can get their hands on. And it's not my joke, but it made me belly laugh. Someone called them aces and 5'8".
Okay, yeah, fair play. Now, who is it? So apparently the people that they've been using as stand-ins, right? Have you not heard that?
I just want to talk a little bit about the segment because they just battered Jessica Bayer.
Who is Jessie? What has she done?
They had the most pathetic spray painting. It was when they pulled out the miniature chainsaw and just like gently tapped the ropes.
But it was everyone cheering along like it was this big thing.
Yeah, that was the worst bit about it. If you're cool, you do all this and you just stand and look menacingly down the camera. You don't jump up and down and go, yeah. Woo!
Have you heard the whole thing about why this is happening? It's a thing by Vince.
It's not
about Antifa and Black Lives Matter.
I don't believe that. I don't
as well, but it's a Vince thing.
I think they might have taken elements from it, but I don't think that's what they're trying to do.
No,
it's so goofy. It got goofier on Raw, but we'll cover that.
It's the spray paint where they wrote W and then it's the stop sign over it. I was like, oh.
It was Kevin Dunn's just shaky cameras and up and down, and it's like why because Retribution are in the ring, does that mean that the camera like so far away has to go all shaky?
Same with Raw Underground. Like, why can't with that camera? Why can't we just have one single hard cam shot, and then, or maybe just without much notice, just move the hard cam a little bit back if it's possible, so you can see the full scope of the bombs, so you can see what everyone else is doing instead of having one person with a camera. Like, yeah.
But Benbow says he thinks Retribution is led by Randy Orton and they will help him at SummerSlam. I'm going to say absolutely not.
Yes, same. I don't think Retribution is run by anyone.
Well, I just think if Randy Orton's a lone wolf, why would he he wouldn't sack off Ric Flair and then have these 5 goons
doing that?
Orton's such a badass, he would not recruit 5'8" people going, yeah, so guys.
Now, I want to ask, who do you think it is?
Who do I think's under the costumes, or who do I think will be the eventual Retribution?
So it's rumoured that these people are stand-ins, but when they first debuted, people were doing some little some Scooby-Doo shenanigans trying to guess who it was. So people saying Vanessa Bourne and Chelsea Green were the women.
And why did they look so identical to Akira Tozawa's ninjas?
Yeah, and then one of the men was Tommaso Ciampa, because very similar to him.
Yeah, well, on SmackDown, one of them fully went up to the camera and said like quite a bit. And I was like,
but I just couldn't tell who it was.
Right, so people have said I think Vanessa Bourne's one of them under the mask and a real member.
Yeah,
people think it's Xavier Woods. So that's why I say no.
Yeah, because I don't think any of them. Are you saying as in was actually there, or who will be a future member?
Both. I don't think. I'd be surprised if it doesn't sound like his Achilles is healed.
No, I don't think it was Woods at all.
Dijakovic, Ciampa, Vanessa Bourne.
Dijakovic too tall, possibly Ciampa.
Dijakovic is too tall, but he'll be a part of it eventually.
Oh, okay. Maybe yeah.
I think Gargano was a part of the
one on SmackDown.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll be a part of it. Chelsea Green, maybe.
Yeah, so which is mental considering her Robert Stone character was great.
That might be the 5.
Jesus.
Gargano, Ciampa, Dijak, Green, and Bourne.
It's a strange one, isn't it?
I've no idea.
I don't know where did they go with it.
Honestly, if it is if this is the way they bring up Gargano and Ciampa.
Well, in fairness, they brought up in a tag team match, didn't they?
Then just what's the point in ever watching NXT again? Because you just
with Triple H, his show just gets ruined.
They do all with hard graft for years, and then they just flatten him out like they've done with Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't get dropped like the hacker angle. People can excuse the hacker stuff. WWE brought Evolve. The rumors is that all of these members are from Evolve, and they are saying Evolve is its own company. That's why this. You know what? I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I wouldn't see. I don't think it'd be on the main roster. If anything, they'd do it in NXT.
I think I'm going to quite confidently say that I don't think it is Sorry, I've just lost my train of thought. What were we on about?
The Retribution. Ben Buzz just said WWE brought Evolve.
I don't think it is going to be the Hacker thing, because the Hacker storyline was just like a 30-second video package.
No, sorry.
Whereas this is like a full-on main event angle.
Yeah, I'm worried that I don't think it will get dropped, but imagine if they do.
For it to be, do you think they should get involved in NXT, considering NXT is the third brand?
If what Ben Buzz said, the rumors about Evolve, some Evolve like indie stars signing for him.
WWE bought about Evolve, and the rumor is that it's for Evolve members. Maybe.
I don't. I feel the problem is I would say maybe it's NXT Renegades, but they spray paint the WWE logo. NXT's under that WWE. But imagine if it's just like MJF, Wardlow, Eve Luna,
and Gracie.
No, it's just all the Dark Order.
I like the idea of what Ben Bill's saying, but there is not a chance Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon have any idea what an Evolve is.
No. I just don't see where it's. I see where it's going. It's going to be a bunch of the same segments, which I actually don't mind.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know how do you
reveal who it is as well? Like,
what do you do apart from just trash things?
I'd like if it was one reveal after maybe SummerSlam. Maybe we get the first reveal, and maybe that's the leader, or maybe it's like one of the goons. First of all, they pull off, and it's
the leader's got to be lost.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is, and the leader then eventually reveals. Like, you might get let's say it is crappy NXT guys. It might be like Leon Ruff first of all. Then it might be Shane Strickland, then it might be Dio Madden, and then the final two might be Gargano. Oh wow! And the final one, Ciampa leading it all. Obviously, those, and I'm not saying who that's going to be, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Look, if it's a way to get them on the main roster, Gargano and Ciampa are just they should have been on the main roster now for a year and a half. I feel like they've conquered NXT.
They have.
Ciampa more so than Gargano. Ciampa just feels like he's got nothing left to do.
No, he doesn't.
At all.
And maybe Retribution is something to do with Hacker. Nah, Simon basically said no, and you're great. Yeah, they dropped. The thing is, if the Hacker segment was going on, meanwhile the Retribution thing, I'd think, oh right, yeah, fair play. But because they dropped it, unfortunately not.
The Hacker was Mustafa Ali, and then Ali got moved to Raw. And then he got flattened out after 2 weeks. And that's the end of that one.
SmackDown, all right, sure. We'll move on to Monday Night Raw, though, which, again, Raw is one of the strangest shows because part of it is great, opening segment, and then the ending segment, then there's bits where I'm like, okay, that was awful. But the show opened up with Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio signing their SummerSlam contract. So Joe opens the show. In terms of the opens the contract signing, says there's 2 contracts here. There's one for a match at SummerSlam between Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio, and there's a contract for one of them to become a full-time WWE superstar, so Dominic. So Seth comes out, and Tom Phillips at the start of the show says Samoa Joe can't get involved. If Samoa Joe gets involved, he loses his commentary job. So this is how Joe's obviously going to lose his commentary job eventually. Someone will rile him up enough, probably Seth, where that's how Joe becomes a full-time competitor again, I'm guessing.
Right, okay.
What?
Yeah, I'd be all right with it once his concussions all healed up and whatnot.
Yeah, so Dominic comes out with his music. It's not properly raised music. It's a bit different. It's still got Booyaka Booyaka in the background, but it's different enough. And he comes out, Dominic very sheepishly with the kendo. Seth cuts a really, really good promo that I listened to every word, saying Dominic couldn't last 10 seconds in a straight up match with him. And then basically goes, but I will give you any foreign object in the match you want. You can use a kendo stick, you can use any other foreign object in the match you could find at SummerSlam. So I don't know what the title of the match would be. Not Extreme Rules, maybe? Anything goes, maybe. I was trying to think.
It has been announced. Hang on, let me just have a look.
On their Twitter.
What the Rollins Dominic match?
Yeah.
I don't think it got a stipulation.
Didn't it? But
right. No, it's just a singles match.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, but they're not going to have just a wrestling match, are they? Let's face it. It's going to be.
No.
It might not have a stipulation, but it's going to be just a brawl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then that opened up, and then basically after Seth had a match against Humberto, he beats Humberto very convincingly, like very poor Humberto. As soon as the match ended, Murphy straight up attacks Dominic. Dominic gets a little bit of fight, but Rollins then gets him, hits him with the kendo stick, and then one of the best segments, like in the past couple of months, Seth keeps on hitting with the kendo stick on the floor, and then he locks him up on the ropes, just keeps on hitting him on the front, probably 7 to 8 times. Then he tells Murphy to go around the back. And so Dominic is just being hit with a kendo stick from both sides of this body. Dominic just screaming every single time. Then he drops down onto the floor and just doesn't really move. He attempts to stop. Dominic collapsed on the mat. He couldn't hold himself up. And then have you seen the picture of Dominic?
Yeah, I'm letting you take most of this Raw, because although the segments were that good, I just wasn't particularly into them. So I don't think I do them justice. But I have seen the pictures. He is one bruised boy.
Fair play to him. And I like that he's got a bit of pudge on him. It's not like his dad who's proper ripped. He's just got a little bit of that pudge. I mean, he's still way fitter than me, but yeah. But yeah, Dominic took an absolute beating in this, and I'm excited for the match at SummerSlam. Something Raw did get me excited for some of the matches. After it's Angelo Dawkins.
It did its job, I guess. As if it's the go home next week. Can't believe it's SummerSlam.
It's gone very quick.
It doesn't feel like. Well, then again, it's not in the normal summer, has it? So.
No, 23rd, yeah, it's fine. Angelo Dawkins defeated Andrade. Well done, Angelo. It's obviously all to do with the poisoning of Montez, where basically they think it is Andrade and Angel Garza all setting up because of the match at SummerSlam. Zelina Vega tried to.
Bianca Belair came out and attacked Zelina Vega, but like it kind of didn't have the same impact, considering she went to her house and did it on a Twitch stream,
which was great.
Which the commentary did not mention on the YouTube clip. So, like, what's the point?
Yeah, but that was so good. I remember just going on Twitter and just saying, "This genuinely might be one of the best things on WWE TV." And it's not even on WWE TV.
They wouldn't want anyone to get over though off their own back. No.
Zack Ryder, the biggest one, and many other people. But then we had Bianca Belair defeating Zelina Vega. Throughout the match, Zelina was saying, "It wasn't me. We didn't poison him." Bianca was having none of that. Then after the match, Charlie comes in and interviews them both, and Bianca really says, "Me and Montez have never got our personal life and our work life connected." And so, but then Charlie asks her like, "Oh well, how is Montez?" And she just goes, "Nah, mate, I'm not having any of that." Angelo Dawkins basically says, "You know Montez. We'll be there. We'll be there for SummerSlam for the Raw Tag Team title match against them too." So confirming that the match is still on. I don't know why they would write him off due to poisoning, but sure.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I'd believe it.
Bembo said there's a current active superstar on the Evolve roster called Chainsaw Joe Gacy. Possibly.
I mean, that's got to be a coincidence, but I don't know. I've never heard.
We've just gone Bembo, nah, mate. It's a shout, and then next week it is him.
I'd be amazed. The only thing that I'm going to say no to is the fact that they didn't come in with a chainsaw. They just found it when they got there.
Yeah. Imagine though, when the first match Tom Phillips, "Oh my god, that's Chainsaw Joe Gacy!" Like, Tom,
that would be unreal.
You don't know who he is.
I'll let you take Cruz versus Benjamin once I'm off for a piss.
Apollo Crews crashed MVP's VIP lounge. MVP comes out, does his typical spiel. Apollo comes out, starts talking. He goes outside the ring. He managed to attack MVP. MVP managed to escape. He throws Apollo throws a sofa at him, which leads to a match. Sean Benjamin defeating Apollo Crews. So Apollo Crews sits second. Sean Benjamin, due to distraction from Bobby Lashley at ringside. Benjamin rolled him up. I turned this match off. And I know that's bad. I should be watching it. I turned it off because it's a repeat. It's a match that we've seen quite a lot of times. So I turned it off immediately. Crews managed to get an insecure. Lashley tried to look in the full Nelson. MVP stopped and said he needed Crews' help for the rematch. So Crews didn't have an excuse. Came back to bite his Crews hitting an insecure. And then escaped. Yes, not a fan. Viking Raiders and Ricochet and Cedric Alexander defeated Akira Tozawa and Ninjas, and then R-Truth defeated Akira Tozawa to become the 24/7 champions. So yeah, fair enough. And then as Tozawa and the Ninja escaped, he was stopped by the referee on the ramp, then rolled up by Ninja, who revealed himself to be the now 38-time 24/7 champion R-Truth.
Ivar flirted with Demi Burnett backstage.
Yeah.
Did she say the line?
I don't know. I haven't seen the backstage because basically I turned off Raw when a Shelton Apollo was on because it was a repeat, and I was like, I'm not rewatching it. I'm not putting myself through that.
The Shelton Apollo stuff was quite good.
I've seen it. We've seen it so much. I was like, I'm gonna go watch an interview by Anthony Gerard. So exactly, if Raw is making me want to watch Anthony Gerard, where I can't understand what he's saying. He's got 5 slits in his eyebrow. Yeah, it's something bad. Yeah, he is. No, I think he's retired now. But yeah, he did an interview with, I think he's Under the Kosh or something. I've never heard of him, but he came up because it had Oldham. We talked about his time at Oldham, and so I was like, I'll watch a bit.
Is it Chesterfield?
Yeah, and Shrewsbury.
Right,
and
yeah.
Lillywhite Town apparently as well. And yeah, Peyton Royce defeating Liv Morgan. Yeah. Again.
Oh, no. If it's an Iconic getting a win, I'm on board.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy for the Iconics to get a win. Give him the tag team chance.
Yeah, give them the tag. Yeah, Sasha and Bailey are going. I mean, I know it's part of the storyline, but they are just props.
Yeah.
At the moment, I mean, I know titles are props anyway, but you know what I mean.
And then
Liv Morgan and Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott with me. When I was actively happy when I saw them get beat. I've got go away heat with them, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But it's just the storyline.
I know what you mean.
It's like it's just been completely done at random.
Yeah.
And I thought they were back on the same page now. So
did I.
So then why are they getting beat in about 2 minutes?
It's strange considering they are, again, alongside Iconics, are you one of your technically longest tag teams? Yeah. People.
Peyton Royce finisher.
Yeah, Peyton Royce's finisher is great. The Deja Vu. But we'll move on to, oh yes, it's back again. They haven't dropped after a week. It's Raw Underground. Oh, I love it. Shaping up, Shane McMahon returned with Riddick Moss. Hitting a big right hand and then stopping him into submission. You know what? All for Riddick Moss being on Raw Underground.
I'm all for Riddick Moss. I really like him.
Did he beat Carl Bloom as well?
Did you do Bailey versus Asuka?
Because it was after. It's after.
Oh, okay. On here they've not. They've got it.
On WWE they've got it after.
Yeah. So yeah, Riddick Moss after his big win on main event.
My smoke alarm's going off.
Oh right. I'll take this one then. So Riddick Moss back off the back of his win on main event last week over Humberto, turned up to Raw Underground looking rock solid. Got his big white vest. Looked the part. Beat Carl Bloom pretty convincingly. for a bit of an amateur wrestling match. So good, that's Riddick Moss back on TV. Arturo Ruas showed up, the Brazilian capoeira man. He did his capoeira and won his bit, so that was cool. And then Shayna Baszler showed up and clobbered, I think, 3 women. And yeah, it's the kind of thing where Shayna Baszler thrives. So yeah, it was Raw Underground. It was kind of underwhelming considering all the buzz it had last week.
Apologies.
Dabba-Kato grabbed the man by the balls. Well.
Yeah. Have you talked about Asuka Bailey? Are
no,
you doing all of
I've done
Arturo Ruas?
Arturo Ruas, Shayna Baszler, and I'm now on to Dabba-Kato grabbing the man by the balls.
Big fan of Arturo Ruas using his MMA experience, but same with Shayna. Dabba-Kato, he grabbed him by the cock and then punched him in the face.
He didn't need to grab him by the.
He didn't. I know it's Raw Underground and anything goes, but
that's not what shoot fights are about.
No. For shoot fights, for anything, the one rule is you don't kick each other in the balls.
Where does this go? Does it get a championship? Do we end up with will we get Dabba-Kato versus Riddick Moss, or will it just
Raw Underground Championship?
Will it always just be big, like actual wrestler beats up developmental talent, or do you think we'll actually get proper wrestlers facing off?
Ooh, I don't know. I think
because if it's just this every week, what's the point?
I think up until SummerSlam, so sort of like a week, next week, maybe the week after, I don't know.
Was there any sexy dancers?
There were no sexy dancers this time. No. He put a damper. There was what?
Was there any porn music playing?
No. It was more gritty. No.
Oh, that was the fun bit.
You take away my sexy dances and my porn music and I'm out of it.
Well, no, because it just makes it funny, doesn't it? Like it makes it bad, but it's fun to laugh at.
No, it was, what's it called? No, I'd like it if we keep on introducing new people to sort of the Raw Underground roster, technically, and then eventually you are going to get proper matches. I don't know how you sort of
eventually
do finishes without making people look weak.
I'm guessing it didn't run for the final hour.
Yeah, it ran the final hour.
Yeah, but it didn't run for the whole of the final hour.
No. We had Retribution and we had
All right, okay. Oh yeah, Retribution listed on the notes, but
so Retribution. The cameras caught the mask. The crew wrecking havoc. They flipped over a car.
Yeah, sorry. Can we just before we come on to it? We had a big return. Mickie James is back.
Oh yeah, in a backstage segment.
I really like Mickie James.
I like Mickie James as well.
And I thought she might have actually retired after this ACL, but she's back. And she's straight to feud Natalia,
which I'm a fan with because Mickie. It's an easy win for Mickie.
Natalia and Lana are now influencers. What did you think of the promo that they cut?
The
best of all time. Natalia is the most winningest wrestler. She is the BOAC, the boat.
I hate
and then Mickey Flair said, "You know what? Boats sink." Oh,
that is a great line. In fairness, that is a great line.
The writing was so bad. Mickie James can do no wrong.
I hate Natalia, and I know it's such a bad thing to say. You know, people hate wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I probably don't hate her in real life, but as a character, Natalia is my worst ever wrestler.
I'm not particularly asked about Lana or Natalia at this moment in time, but that's right. Look, Natalia's just got she's just got a knack for delivering bad lines like the miracle. How dare you disrespect the miracle of motherhood like
that? This something. Her in-ring, it does the thing, yeah. Her theme music is literally Bret Hart's. Her promos. Thing is, she probably could cut a great promo, but all the promos that are written for her are dog awful. Her acting isn't the best.
I hope she's a part of Retribution.
Imagine. I'd love it. I really would. Natalia's the leader. She's orchestrated it all. That's why he's so wacky. But speaking of Retribution, they flipped over a car, they broke a window in the Performance Centre, before running off, literally on the WWE thing. It says Retribution was smashing a window with a cinder block and flipping over a car in the WWE before running off into the night.
So, running off into the night. Right.
The
So,
Rapscallions.
I did laugh how when the camera cut to it, the car was already flipped because 8 and 5'8" can't do it themselves.
Yeah.
And someone threw a cinder block through an already smashed window, but they didn't throw the cinder block, they just rolled it. It's a parody. As Sean Ross of Fightful.com said, it's got to be a parody.
It's got to be. I love it.
It can't be real.
I was looking forward to this and Raw Underground, probably the two worst segments.
There's no way this can be serious because they were still they were getting on top of the overturned car and jumping up and down, going, "Yeah,
look at us, we flipped this car." It's the word running off into the night, like some children who've done knock a door run.
If Vince and Bruce think this is what's cool and this is what's badass,
they're correct.
This is the sign. Take this as the hint that they're out of touch. And in the words of Claude, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
This isn't cool. I'm just going to go onto Twitter now and see whether look at the replies to what Sean Ross said.
I saw something online. I want Retribution to kidnap Vince McMahon. As much as Vince McMahon would tear all these 5'8" midgets apart. Jesus Christ! I'm just trying to find the tweet. The WWE put up a tweet where it's like Retribution strikes again. Jeez, let's have a look at the comment. Hashtag teenagers. Sweet Kyantai is back. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Apparently they were kicking the car. Why did they kick the car?
Oh my God. This was Wrestling Twitter after Hell in a Cell 2019.
It's just... we'll see where it goes.
Do
you think they'll get involved at SummerSlam? Because, I mean, we don't even know where SummerSlam's going to be at the moment. It's still in the PC, but aren't they trying hard to get it on a beach?
Yeah.
And also, can you believe that we've got Payback the week after?
I know, a week after. That's what I don't.
Then Clash of Champions 3 weeks later.
It's what I want them to say. If it is on a beach, instead of running riot, tearing the ring apart, they just start making sandcastles. No, do you know, like when you were at the beach when you were younger, and you build a sandcastle castle, and then you dig a moat around it. That's what I want Retribution to do. Dig a moat around the ring. The problem is they haven't got water hose, so they're having to run back and forth with this to the sea to get a bucket.
I mean, to be honest, I think if SummerSlam was going to be on a beach by now, they'd have probably announced it.
Oh yeah,
quiet, but yeah, it'd be all right.
Luckily, we missed one really big news. It's the Rockers bought XFL. I know it's not really WWE, but it's big news.
We'll see what happens. I'm not really bothered.
I'm for the XFL, I'm not fussed, but I love Retribution. I just seen someone do some guess. My guess is Danny Burch, Killian Dane, Shane Thorne, Vanessa Bond, and Ember Moon.
Yeah, Danny Burch and Killian Dane are rumoured, aren't they? And it'd fit Killian Dane because it's basically Sanity 2.0.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Danny Burch loves a pint and a fight. I guess But then again, Danny Burch isn't really the kind to dress up in all black and ski masks, is he? He'd rather just go down and knock someone out.
Only Larkin, he's a bit of a wacky guy.
Yeah, but they're just hard blokes. Do you know what I mean? They're not ski mask thugs. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just going through the replies. Like Xavier Woods, Dajkovic, Vanessa Bourne, Chelsea Green, or Ripley.
Oh no, not Rhea Ripley. No.
I'm seeing gifts of Oompa Loompas.
People say they look like minions.
Oh, I'm trying to, for God's sake. I'm invested though. I just want to know who it is though. I really do.
Maybe I don't think we'll find out until we get back to uni.
Riddle, until we get back to you, you think 12th? Is it 12th in a month?
I think they'll hold it off for a while. They teased the half for a good 2 months.
They did. Oh, I can't wait, I can't wait for the first reveal, and it's someone we don't have a clue of. It's Akumi Sato. Do you remember the Japanese sumo wrestler at Greatest Royal Rumble?
Akumi. Oh, what's he called?
Akumi Sato?
Haruki.
Haruki Goto's a Japanese wrestler. Something like that. It's going to be him.
Oh, I'm going to have a look, yeah. If Retribution wanted to be really cool, they'd just take control of Raw Underground in the same way that the Hurt Business did.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if next week we do get him like from. Yeah.
Oh, we talked about Ric Flair versus Randy Orton. We
go from one bad segment to an incredible segment. I loved it anyway. So first of all, you have Randy Orton defeating Kevin Owens. Not an amazing match. It did what I had to do. Kevin goes for the stunner. Orton picks up the win. I think the result's fine. Orton's got the big match against
Hiroki
Sumi. There we go. Bring him back for Retribution. But KO doesn't really have anything going into SummerSlam. Orton does. Normally I'd be pissed off that KO's eating a loss, but because it's to Orton, I'm not. It's more after. So after that,
I ain't got to do that. Owens is doing no.
Owens leaves. Randy and Rick are in the ring, and Randy says, "Don't go. I've got something to talk about." Comes back from the thingy, and Randy just basically starts talking, and then he just goes, "Rick, you are a liability." And he just starts saying all things. I'm pretty confident. I think he mentioned Reed, not by name, but he went, "I'm the son that you never had." And I thought, oh, okay, Randy's going there.
Whoa.
I mean, Paige has done it, but Randy went there.
We see we've got a Crown Jewel scheduled for the end of the year.
Piss off. No.
Crown Jewel, November 5th.
No, in that just scheduled because of the deal. So people have on like the Wikipedia and stuff. They've scheduled it in.
Didn't we say a couple of weeks ago that Vince intends on going back?
Oh my God!
Imagine if they end up in Saudi Arabia.
Imagine.
I'm just gonna. You do this thing. Yeah. I'm gonna have a look at how Saudi Arabia is doing in terms of the pandemic.
Yeah. So yeah, Randy says you are a liability, Rick. I am the son that you never had, or got to have. Basically, making reference to Reed's death, which I thought, oh, okay, he's going there. Rick Salado obviously is face to face with him, and he goes, "You just a whore. Basically, you're a whore for the spotlight. You're leech. You're a leech," and Orton really just berates Rick, and Rick doesn't tear up, but he just looks quite sad, and then Rick just stops like the tears. Goes, "You're right, Randy. I am. I'm a 71-year-old man, and I'm on Raw. I got Hulk Hogan messaging me saying, 'What's it like, the buzz?' And I tell you, Randy, it's great." And I do follow you because I want to see you become that 14-time champion, that 15, that 16. I want you to be my record, not John Cena's record, my record. I want you to do it, Randy. And I was like, this is Ric Flair is just, he's obviously voicing, he's got a bit of a lisp, so he wasn't, at the start I was like, oh, but as soon as he's going, I listened to every word that Rick and Randy had to say, and Randy's sort of just whispering sort of to himself as Rick's talking. He goes, yeah, I am here, and I shouldn't be. I'm 71 years old, but I want it for you. And Randy starts talking, Rick, you're past it. See, you're not the Ric Flair that I remember. If the Ric Flair I remember wouldn't have been in a coma for 12 days, wouldn't have been in intensive care for a month, my Ric Flair wouldn't need a pacemaker to just keep on breathing. Rick comes back saying, yeah, I was in a coma for 12 days. But what that made me realize is I want to tell everyone that I didn't get to tell I love them. And you know who one of them I went around and rang? One of them was you, Randy. I rang you. Which I just loved. He's just saying now how I just love the thing of, yeah, I'm 71 years old, yet I'm in the main event of Monday Night Raw. If you asked anyone, they would say, yes, I want to be in that position. And Randy just slips back after Rick basically just goes and actually sort of counters all of Randy's points. And Rick makes such a good thing. Randy just goes, I'm sorry, and hugs him. He keeps on hugging him, and then he goes to leave, and he grabs Rick's neck. Boom, low blow, typical Randy Orton. Rick sells it, just drops to his knees, drops to his things. He's holding his cock, and he's wincing in just so much pain. Orton's whispering to himself, and he leans on Rick, puts his hand over, and just goes, you don't really hear it. The camera don't pick up, and he's just whispering in the ear of Rick, telling him stuff. And then you just see him crawl to the one. Are you still finding out about Crown Jewel?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just finishing off me. I've done some proper maths
research. So he crawls to the corner. I'm like, oh, Randy's just going to watch over the doctors. And then the doctors don't come, and the lights flicker off for a second. And I'm like, oh, Drew's coming out. And it comes back on again. And then Orton, the typical Orton thing when he goes for a punt, he hears that voice. And then you see him running. Lights go out. You hear like a, there we go. Just like a connection. Obviously, it's not a proper connection. Orton's obviously faked it. The lights come back up. Rick is not moving. Like Ric Flair, perfect to say when he's just lifeless. You see his lips quivering, and that's it. And then Orton's just stood up, laid over him, whispering, holding his hand. And then Drew comes out and clears Orton of the ring, just screaming, "You son of a bitch!" But with so much passion. Doctor eventually come out, and it's just Drew, sort of in two minds, staring at Orton, whether she should go from looking back at Rick, just screaming, "You are an evil son of a bitch, Randy Orton, and I will make you pay at SummerSlam."
Yeah, it was just Randy Orton being a bad boy.
It was Randy Orton. It was one of my favorite segments of the year, and most of my favorite segments of the year have involved Randy Orton so far.
The silence worked really well for him in the sense.
You know what? I think he might be the record. Because I completely forgot about that. Orton probably needs another 4 more reigns, right? Fair enough. Orton's got another 5 years where he can get 4 more reigns, because he'll be remembered more than Cena in terms of wrestling. Cena will always be that guy, but Orton should always, because Orton could always come back. He won't really have Hollywood and everything like that.
He's a wrestler, and he's not. I don't think he's going to end up being a movie star.
No, he hasn't really broke like Cena has, which is fine. So let Orton break that record so they can bring him back whenever they need to hype something up.
So I guess that was Raw. A good end to an average enough Raw.
Incredible end to a Raw. Really loved it. As you can tell from passion. But now to the most important thing.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So here in the UK, we've got 1 case per every 217 people.
Okay, so what's our population?
That's over here, so just a bit of perspective. In the US, they've got 1 case per 65 people. So that's what they're operating at the moment. In Saudi Arabia, they've got 1 case per 120 people.
Oh.
So the way Vince will be looking at it is they've got just less than half as many cases per people.
Oh, wow.
So he'll be really looking at, going over there.
Yeah.
So
Jesus, imagine.
Yeah, so we got SummerSlam, Payback, Clash of Champions, blank October pay-per-view, which would be Hell in a Cell, but obviously you can't fit it in the PC. And then Crown Jewel. I don't know what's happening with NXT UK TakeOver Dublin, because that's scheduled for the end of October. Well, it's scheduled for the end of October, but obviously, we're not going to get fans in the 3 Arena in Dublin, so I'd expect something to be said about that. I've stopped watching even NXT UK, even just the recap packages.
Yeah, just because
there's just no need.
I'm very surprised that they haven't gone back. Obviously, where NXT UK is, there and not on local lockdown's only really up north. So I'm very surprised that they haven't just started refilming. I know a lot of people are probably on furlough. The PC? Yeah, in the NXT, the UK one. Because we've seen it, it's very similar to the.
Yeah, it's a big facility.
The one problem they have with audio, just because it is, the PC is very contained where the ring is, whereas I think everything else isn't. So it's
every week I sort of anticipate what's happening with, because like UK takeovers are so good, and we were gonna have Finn Balor versus Walter.
What a main event!
What a main event! I mean,
I don't think it's happening.
About NXT UK, but what a main event that is!
I think they're just going to have to keep on delaying it because obviously Finn is
possibly
going to be in a ladder match.
It's a bit like AW Blood and Guts, isn't it? But in the sense that people have bought tickets for it, so they can't unless they just refund everyone.
Which I don't think. I think they'll just delay it.
I know. I'm absolutely fascinated, me, to see what's going to happen at Payback. Because what are you gonna do? I mean, I know we've already got
a week after.
I know we've already got 7 matches for SummerSlam, and maybe they'll only have a couple more because it's not going to be like a big 4-hour do. In the PC, and there's no cinematic matches. Like every single match they've got at the moment is just standard.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll leave it at 7 or 8, and they'll put some other ones on Payback the week after, a bit like Corbin versus Riddle. Ones like that.
Yeah, I find it very strange that it's a week after.
But you'd just have 2 nights of SummerSlam, wouldn't you? No, you wouldn't, because of the takeover. But then you just do the takeover on the Friday.
Because you've done it before, where you've had three shows. Because you haven't had 3 wrestling shows, but you've had NXT, Hall of Fame, then Mania.
And if you are going to have Payback as a totally different show, then you're going to have. It's unlikely that you're going to have any wrestlers wrestle both SummerSlam and Payback because they're not going to have time to build a second feud.
Mm-hmm.
So Payback's going to be like full of just everyone who wasn't on SummerSlam, aka the mid-carders.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm extremely annoyed with is I was, before the pandemic and stuff, I was looking at tickets for WrestleMania 37 in Hollywood. Because I was and I was looking at flights, I was like, all right, if I save up a bit, and then I was like, I could go to this, And then I looked, I was like, nah, I'm not taking the risk with the pandemic until then, regardless, even if they do decide to go ahead, I'm like, especially America where everything could change so drastically, I'll save up and I'll go to one. It's in England.
Yeah, you're best off waiting. But honestly, when fans can get back in arenas, the demand for tickets to any event, the demand for tickets to that first Raw or SmackDown back in front of fans.
I can't wait for that first Raw SmackDown because Vince will go. He will bring in names.
It's going to feel like WrestleMania.
It will, and he will bring in names because he will know he can get the more. He could probably sell out. I
don't really want him to bring in names. I don't want it to be like
no. I don't as well.
Not
I think
Hogan. Like, don't bring back the old guys. Like, use the guys that you're currently.
For me, the interesting one, but AEW, like maybe they have blood and guts on that first. Do you know have the War Games match?
Yeah, well, I think that's what they'll do. I think that'd be class if they had.
That imagine first show with crowd back and you've got your marquee match.
They've said they're saving it for when they go to Rochester, or is it Newark?
Where
where they're going to have it originally.
Yeah.
They've said they're going to save it because they promised that region it. So I guess
which is fair.
When can they get the arena?
I'm sure if Tony Khan waves his money around,
he'll get what he wants.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Tony Khan. Honestly, on Twitter this week,
he's great, isn't he? Also,
if that man was on his deathbed and he could only say 3 words before he dies, it would be "Come on, Fulham."
I didn't realise how passionate he was about football. Also, have you seen what No Way Jose's tweeted? Or formerly known as No Way Jose. He quoted Retribution strikes
again. It's the conga line, isn't it? Yeah.
Damn, the conga line is pissed. Yeah, I didn't realise that Tony Khan was such a big...
Oh, yeah. He's absolutely ploughed money into that club, though. Have you seen the picture of Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor watching the playoff final? And Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy's in a Fulham shirt.
Is it? Is it on Twitter?
Yeah, it's on Tony Khan tweets and replies because he replied to someone.
I spelled his name wrong.
Yeah,
I think I know. Probably if you watch this podcast, we are definitely AEW biased. I don't think not biased.
I don't know.
Not biased.
We skimmed through it.
I think we obviously prefer. I'd say we prefer AEW. I've also just seen Orange Cassidy and Chucky T. Fair play to him,
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think what Tony Khan has done, he's took a risk, and what a lot of people have been afraid to do, and I'm guessing AEW probably made a loss of money. Will make a loss of money for the first 3 years. I don't think they'll make more profit.
Business.
Yeah. Also, Tony Khan got me into NFL.
Okay. Well,
So,
I'd love to shake that man's hand.
Same.
I'm such a happy man.
You know, I think you could get an interview out of him. If you messaged him and just went, "Hi Tony, I know this is a long shot, but we run a podcast. I need it for my uni work. Any chance?"
Think about the number of people who'd want Tony Khan.
Imagine the amount of people who just don't message him.
He doesn't have a spare hour in the day.
I think he does. I've seen it when he'll do like interviews for for other people. Surely he can spare a bit of time for the sports corner. Surely.
I doubt he even has his DMs open. If he's got his DMs open, I'd take that as a no. If he's got them shut, sorry.
I'm on his Twitter now. But when I type in Tony Khan, it comes up with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, his DMs are closed. So
Tony, what are you playing at? Has he got his Instagram DMs open? No. Do you want to do a quick rundown of 205 before we do the quiz? I realise we've been going for a while now, so.
Yeah. Main event, Bianca Belair beat Jessica Mayer. Cool. Mm-hmm. Riddick Moss beat Humberto Carrillo for the second week running.
Oh, well done, Riddick.
Cool. Well, 205, Chase Everrise beat Marquise Carter and Mikey Spandex.
Oh, what a name.
So, yeah, Everrise are getting a push. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. And then in the main event, Danny Burch beat Tony Nese. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
Right. We're more going to the main event. So, non-main event, I either do pay-per-views and stuff. I thought, you know, he's been a TNT champion a while. I did this last night while playing. I was like, who could I do a quiz on this week? So Cody Rhodes. I think every week I might do it on my 3 top favourite wrestlers, and you've got to try it. So I've only got 3 questions because I didn't want to make them too long, and the final 2 questions sort of linked together. But firstly, question number 1. How many times has Cody won the Intercontinental belt? Forgot to put belt.
3.
Oh, 3. Incorrect. It's actually 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did Big Show.
Yeah, that's it. I was trying to think, like, if you could remember if it was as like a certain person and stuff.
Yeah, it's more just like I don't know much about his early WWE stuff because I wasn't watching when like Legacy was a thing.
Yeah.
So
it's more of the thing of like he had it when he had the sort of the mask over his head. The mask, the paper bag. There we go.
Oh yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, so he had it around there. I'm just looking to see who he actually beat. I never actually checked. Intercontinental Championship 2 times. I can't find it. But yeah, 2 times. Cody Rhodes. I was going to do all belts, but I thought I'm not sure like if you could get them all because he's had 3 tag team championship runs and 3 WWE tag team championship runs. He won the belt off Ezekiel Jackson on SmackDown, and then he won it off the Big Show as his 2 runs. Never won it later on, like when he was with Damien Sandow and stuff, when he had the mustache.
Yeah.
Which was very surprising. Okay, question number 2. How many times has Cody defended the TNT belt on AEW? And also, can you name as many people as you can who he's beat in the Open Challengers? So first of all, how many times has Cody defended the belt? If you want a clue, he won it to Double or Nothing, so I'm not counting Double or Nothing, the final.
He beaten Mark Clem.
Okay.
Scotty Kiss. Warhorse. Eddie Kingston. Ricky Starks. And then I feel like there's one more, so it's 6.
7.
7?
Because you remember, I couple have got a Sunday Kiss. So I went on cagematch.com and I went through every single Dynamite, but I forgot he might have defended on Dark. But I remember Sunday Kiss. So the people you missed out were So the people who have it are Hager, Kingston, Ricky Starks, Jungle Boy, Mark Quinn, I think I spelled his name wrong, Warhorse, and Sonny.
Yeah, Jungle Boy. Forgot about that.
Yeah. There we go. Just take away that. That was the main event. I'll probably try find a better thing for it next week, a better flow.
Just one more thing. Have you watched Impact this week?
No.
Okay. Well, the main event of it was like Rich Swan's retirement angle.
He's retiring?
Well, no, in kayfabe, because like Eric Young has basically just killed him.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna bring him back. It's worth watching. It's like everyone like comes down to the ring and like applauds him and helps him out of the ring, and then Eric Young attacks him again, and it's like
right.
It's a full on like retirement angle, but I don't know how they're gonna get him back wrestling again. It's worth watching. I don't know.
Unless is he leaving?
Not to my knowledge, no. He was in the main event of Slammiversary, wasn't
he? Yeah. Very strange if they're doing a retirement angle with him.
I don't know what's going on there, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll do the quick promotion for the channel before we end it all up. So, if you haven't heard of us, we have the Sports Corner. It's not just the Wrestling Corner we do on Tuesdays. So on Mondays, we have a tier list with KD. Monday yesterday, him and KL did League One table predictions. Obviously, KL is a Hull fan, so see where he thought how Hull were going to do. So tune into that at around 3 p.m. I think the time differs. It was 1, sometimes it's 3, depending on the person. Next week, it is Josh with Championship Table Predictions. On Tuesday, it's me and Simon. Every week, 11:30 a.m. with the Wrestling Corner, NXT, AEW, and the main WWE shows. Sprinkle a bit of Impact in there. I don't know what we've got a busy couple of weeks coming up. We've got SummerSlam. We've got Payback. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Nothing on Wednesdays, nothing on Thursdays, nothing on Fridays, nothing on Saturdays. On Sunday, though, I'm back again with another F1 watch along for the Barcelona, the Spanish Grand Prix at 10 out. The race starts 10 past 2. I'll be live around 2 o'clock, 10 to 2, depending on when I can get sorted. But because we don't have anything on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, doesn't mean there's not other content. We've got our watch alongs. We've been doing it for the past couple of weeks now. We did it last week and we're back in. So yesterday we had KD and KL. You got a double dosage with them. They did Europa League watch alongs. You had Inter Milan beating Bayer Leverkusen and Manchester United beating Copenhagen in extra time. So them two did react today. Tonight at 8 p.m. it's me and Josh. We're back at it again with Shakhtar Donetsk versus Basel and Wolves versus Sevilla. We've got a very tasty game with Wolves versus Sevilla. On Wednesday, it is, if I can remember, it's Atalanta versus PSG, which means I can tell you in a second when I load up the messenger chat. Where's the messenger of the podcast? It is, so on Atalanta versus PSG on Wednesday, it is Kieran L and Josh. They'll be doing live reactions to that. On Thursday, it's me and KL with Red Bull Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid. These are obviously your quarterfinals of the Champions League. On the 14th, it's Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and that is Josh and KD. And then on the Saturday, I've got another Saturday shift. It's Manchester City versus Lyon, and that's going to be KD and me. So a lot of watch-alongs coming up on the channel, and that's not over yet. And then on the Sunday, you'll have my F1 watch along. Then you will have a Europa League watch along, Manchester United versus either Wolves or Sevilla. Then on Monday, you'll have another Europa League watch along, which will be Inter Milan versus Shakhtar Donetsk or Basel. So that'll probably have two of us. On then Tuesday, you will have our Champions League watch alongs, and also there is also Europe Champions League qualifying happening as well. So we'll keep you live updated with that as well. Anything else I've missed? Transfer show. Keep an eye on Twitter at the top corner, at the _top corner, where KD will go live on YouTube with the daily transfer show, talking about all the major transfers. Obviously, Jadon Sancho is the biggest one, so tune in to that. But thanks, Simon. Thank you very much for joining today. It's been a long episode, but we had to talk about Retribution.
Had to be done.
We did, yeah. But tune in next week. We'll be talking about, see what wacky shenanigans Retribution will get up to again. We'll have a look. Will it be the Go Home show for Raw? It will.
Yes.
So we'll talk about the Go Home show for Raw.
And then the week after, we'll do the Go Home show for Payback.
Yeah, so we're going to, not next week, but the week after will be a stacked show because we will have SummerSlam, Go Home show. We'll have, I think, the NXT TakeOver as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a very stacked show on episode 29, it will be. But thank you very much for everyone to tune in today. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Simon, for joining me.
Yep, thank you.
And thank you very much for watching, and